From a young age, my only concern was my grades. I didn't care about anybody else or anything else. My world began and ended with me. This is the mantra of Mizutani Shizuku, a first-year student at Shoyo High School. As you might have guessed, she is no fun to be around. Consumed by her desire to excel in her studies, she has no interest in building friendships. She sits next to Yoshida Haru, who hasn't come to class since spilling blood on the first day of school. A month ago, he sent several upperclassmen to the hospital. One can still find lingering evidence of the carnage at the crime scene. He has been the hot topic of the school as the phantom first year. However, none of it matters to Shizuku, at least not for long. Their paths soon cross when their teacher Ninomiya Saeko asks her to deliver something to Haru. Saeko worries that Haru might fall behind if he continues to skip class. Shizuku hesitantly agrees and proceeds to Haru's place. She arrives at a batting center where Haru is residing. Upon entering, the sight of Haru beating up some dude welcomes her. Witnessing it firsthand proved to be quite a shocker despite hearing about his anger issues and fighting habits. Though terrified, she is not surprised. Upon seeing Shizuku, Haru scrambles his way through and jumps out of the window. Anyway, she leaves the handouts to the receptionist and goes about her way. On her way home, Haru ambushes her, pinning her to the ground. "Relax, it's not what you think it is." He asks her if she's a spy for the school. Bewildered, she is lost for words. She says she delivers handouts for him. He hears her out before letting her go. With a palpable sense of relief, he asks for her name, to which she responds. He blushes, thinking this must be what it feels like when someone gets sick and a friend brings him handouts. This guy must be sick after all. He gets friendly, even telling her to call him Haru since they're already friends. And just like that, Shizuku wonders if this guy is alright. She walks away as Haru cheerfully bids goodbye, addressing her by her first name. The next day, Shizuku tells Saeko to pay up as promised for running an errand. Saeko agrees but requests Shizuku to try to persuade Haru to come to school since his suspension has already been lifted. Unwilling to go through the trouble again, Shizuku blatantly refuses. On her way home, here we go again. He pulls her to a dark corner and asks her to follow him. He leads her to a stray dog he found. Shizuku's not very fond of animals though. She recollects the time her classmates called her dry eyes for showing no emotions toward a dead rabbit. Now she doubts she has any compassion toward a dog, stray or not. She vents her frustration upon seeing the dog and points out that it's probably not a stray since it has a collar and a leash. She begins to wonder if this guy's an idiot. She then hangs out with Haru at a burger joint. Incidentally, Haru's delinquent friends are also there. One of them, Yamaken, asks who Shizuku is, to which Haru responds. Another friend asks Haru to lend him some money, emphasizing that they are friends. Haru beams with delight upon hearing this and lends him a wad of cash. This almost confirms Shizuku's supposition of Haru being an idiot. Shortly after, the delinquent friends leave. Much to her surprise, Haru asks Shizuku how school life has been, hinting at his desire to return. She encourages him to go, but he explains that he isn't entirely against the idea. His involvement in the fight on the first day of school has set others' impressions on him. Outside of school, however, he has found friends who see him as he is and not as some sort of a monster. He doesn't need to go to school now. However, he is grateful for meeting Shizuku. Shizuku tells him they're not real friends because they only use him for money. She adds that she would rather have no friends than have friends like them. This upsets Haru. He pours juice on her and tells her she's a disagreeable person. Her pent-up anger and frustration burst forth. She retaliates by throwing a drink at him. The following day, Shizuku goes to the batting center to inform Haru that the school will expel him if he doesn't attend classes. The receptionist receives this news while offering Shizuku a go at batting. At this point, she might as well vent her feelings. While at it, she overhears the delinquent friends talking about how Haru has recently stopped giving money. While going for a swing, she notices Haru just around the batting area but ignores him. Conflicted with her feelings, she confronts the delinquents about their treatment to Haru. One of them is about to lift a hand on her when Haru interferes, asking them to leave. Haru then walks Shizuku home. Along the way, he cries and reveals that he's happy. She holds back her tears and wonders why she feels this way. She comforts and assures him that it won't be long before people surround him. He declares he will consider returning to school if she's with him. Suddenly, he confesses his feelings for her. Whoa, wait, did we miss something? Taken by surprise, she tries to explain why he might feel this way but implies that he may be wrong or simply confused. Even so, he insists he is serious and swears that his feelings will never change. The next day, Haru shows up at school and immediately becomes the talk of the town. He sticks by Shizuku whenever he can, and his hilarious antics stir up her once peaceful high school life. His presence alone makes it difficult for her to concentrate. Is it his antics, or perhaps his unconcealed feelings for her? Shizuku isn't sure herself. As Haru pesters her to hang out with him after school, she remains firm in her decision to study instead. She has to redeem herself after failing to bag the top spot among the first-year students. She recalls that the student who got the top spot did not appear in the opening ceremony. Could that be Haru? Fast forward to the midterm results, Shizuku places first, although she isn't as happy as she thought she would be. She drops by the batting center to tell Haru about the exam results. With their bond ever growing, Shizuku finally agrees to go with Haru to eat manga. While on their way, he suddenly kisses her, and she turns peach red. On the other hand, Haru wonders why his heart isn't pounding. Despite that, he still loves her all the same. At the manga place, Shizuku orders a bunch of food in a desperate bid to get her mind off the kiss that Haru so casually gave her, and still, her heart keeps pounding. The following day, Saeko tells Haru to take a makeup exam since he forgot to put his name on the test papers and scored 0 on all the subjects. Yikes! Intrigued, Shizuku grabs his papers and realizes he would have scored higher than her if he only written his name. Later this day, Haru brings a rooster to school. He claims to have seen it walking in the rain. The students have gotten used to Haru's bizarre behavior by now. On the contrary, Shizuku has grown painfully conscious of his presence. The kiss doesn't help either. Later on their way home, Shizuku asks Haru to clarify his feelings for her. He doubles down on his word and offhandedly says he would totally do her. Sir? The conversation is interrupted by Natsume Asako, a classmate of theirs. Asako asks Shizuku to help her study. Since Natsume scored low on her tests, she'll have to pass the makeup exams, else she will have to take remedial classes. Thing is, she can't afford to do that. If Natsume screws this up, she will miss the first gathering of an online community where she made her first friends. Shizuku refuses, stating that it's not her problem. Upon learning that he can make friends at this community gathering, Haru offers to teach Natsume instead, with the condition that she takes him with her. Haru spends the following days preparing Natsume for the makeup exams. One day, Shizuku asks Haru how things are with Natsume. Sensing a piqued interest from her, he says it's too late to trade places now, and he is going to the community event. Shizuku, unable to comprehend the event's significance, remarks that he and Natsume are so odd. She asks whether or not it matters if people like someone. Haru answers with a smile and tells her she's extraordinary. She blushes. He then asks her if she's ever felt empty inside. Such a feeling scares him, but not anymore, because he has her now. The following day, Shizuku ponders what is wrong with her. She's never thought about certain things before, nor has she cared what other people thought about her. She can't concentrate on studying. Is her understanding of the world wrong from the start, or is her world growing? A classmate from the baseball club sees Shizuku through the window and starts a conversation with her. He introduces himself as Sasahara, also called Sasayan. Since she is always hanging out with Haru, he wonders what she's like. He asks her how she got Haru to come to school. She says she has no idea what Haru is thinking, except that he wants a friend and it doesn't matter who. Sasayan shares that he went to the same middle school as Haru. He also reveals that Haru went 3 years without coming to class. He knows Haru quite well. For someone to convince him to go to school, Shizuku must be special. Before they part, Shizuku asks Sasayan for a favor. Sometime later, back in the classroom, Shizuku sees Natsume utterly defeated with her head hanging low on the desk. Natsume says she didn't understand anything Haru taught her, and there's no time left. She explains why she is hell-bent on attending that offline gathering. She wants to be close to others, but people are distant. In the online community, however, she has friends. She doesn't care if she's living a lie. Shizuku's heart softens, though she doesn't fully understand. Her knowledge of people and the world grows. She decides to help Natsume with her exams by telling her which sections she should focus on to pass. Shizuku shouts through the window, asking Haru if he wants to go to the offline gathering. And he says he does. She grins at Natsume as she tells her she needs to pass the makeup exams to make this happen. Since the makeup exam is the following day, Shizuku pulls an all-nighter with Natsume at Haru's place. Thankfully, her efforts pay off as Natsume passes the exams. The following Monday, Natsume tells Shizuku that Haru ruined the offline gathering. She didn't get a chance to talk to any girls. Then Haru got into a fight. Everybody gave her the cold shoulder when she logged onto the community again. Because of this, she decides to log off. Shizuku tells Haru that she asked Sasayan to take care of the rooster and that he agreed. Later that day, Shizuku and Natsume are on the rooftop, away from Haru's sight. Natsume buys Shizuku a drink as thanks for helping her pass the exams. Shizuku is relieved to be alone and to have some peace. When Natsume returns, Haru is already there, looking over at Shizuku, who's fast asleep. He shushes her and she nods in agreement, goes away, and wishes him luck. When Shizuku wakes up, she finds herself on Haru's lap. She panics about missing class, but he puts her head back on his lap. When asked why he didn't wake her up, Haru tells her she was out like a light and thought it was cute. Her face reddens once again. This is the first time Shizuku has ever skipped class. With her head resting on Haru's lap, she admires the great weather and blue sky. The old Shizuku would never have known how blue the afternoon sky looked from the roof. Her world is growing. What she once considered a background noise is now comforting. She gets up and tells Haru she's glad they met. Before, she only cared about studying, but now she will start enjoying herself. Finally, she tells him, "I love you, Haru." While on the rooftop, Shizuku now realizes the weight of her words. She wonders what Haru thinks. He laughs and calls her a child after seeing her blush. He asks her if she wants to go out. She turns even redder as she says she is only lying. With a relieved demeanor, he tells her, "I feel much better." One day, Sasayan brings Haru's rooster to school, saying that he can't keep it because they have a cat. So Sasayan asks Sayako if she could ask permission from the school higher-ups to keep the rooster at school. Fortunately, they agree. Sayako implores Shizuku to help Naru build the rooster's coop. Shizuku reluctantly accepts, as if she had a choice. Luckily, Natsume and Sasayan offer to help with the rooster's upkeep. Natsume, Sasayan, Haru, and Shizuku meet at the library about what they will do with Nagoya, Haru's rooster. On the other hand, Shizuku is deep in thought about that conversation on the rooftop. She thinks Haru wasn't happy about her feelings. The group decides to meet at the batting center on the weekend. Sasayan and Natsume arrive first. Sasayan and the receptionist greet each other. Haru turns up with Nagoya. Not long after, Shizuku arrives and becomes the subject of their humor for her granny clothes. Can you blame them though? The four head out to the hardware store. While looking for the needed materials, Shizuku comes across the delinquents who used to be Haru's friends. Sensing trouble, Sasayan helps her escape. They run for the exit, but she's too slow. He alerts Haru, who throws one of the guys into a pile of paint products. The three run out of the store, leaving Natsume to buy the materials. Later, Sasayan rejoins Natsume to carry the stuff. At the parking lot of the batting center, the group starts building the chicken coop with an online model as a guide. Michan, the receptionist of the batting center, offers them his chainsaw. While Haru gets the chainsaw and Natsume buys ice cream, Yamaken and the other delinquent friends arrive. They want to make peace with Haru and asks Shizuku to help them. She initially refuses, but Yamaken hints that she is in love with Haru. She tries to defend herself despite failing at it. Shortly after, Haru arrives. Yamaken attempts to mend their broken relationship, but Haru is not convinced. A commotion is about to happen. A quick-thinking Shizuku devises a way out of it. To prove their sincerity, they will help in building the chicken coop. By the time Natsume arrives, everyone is working on the coop. They complete the chicken coop with more hands on deck before the day ends. Each goes about their way until only Haru and Shizuku are left. He insists on walking her home. He tells her that God decides when people get lucky or unlucky, so everything balances out in the end. He adds, "If meeting you were my lucky moment, it would balance everything else in my life. Only good things have happened since I met you." Shizuku reaffirms her confession. After a long pause, he tells her he loves her too, but this love is probably different from hers. He thought she would leave him if she realized that. Shizuku understands one thing. She will wait for him to fall in love with her before she repeats it. Haru receives a text from Michan saying that Hyuzen is on his way. As if alerted of a threat, Haru grabs Shizuku by the hand, telling her they will find a place to spend the night. The search doesn't take long, however. The two end up staying at Shizuku's, much to Shizuku's father's disbelief. No big deal. His daughter just brought home a guy. Shizuku showcases her cooking skills for Haru. From fried rice to some pickled vegetables, Haru is impressed and likens her to one of those countryside grandmas. Meanwhile, a guy named Yuzen arrives at the batting center. Michan meets him saying, "I told you not to come back here." Yuzen asks where Haru is, and Michan responds that he is not coming home tonight. Back at Shizuku's, Haru enjoys a relaxing bath. Afterward, he roams around the house half naked. As he approaches Shizuku, her heart races, and she can't look back at him. After giving it much thought, she finally takes a peek, but he's already fast asleep. Since Haru and Shizuku met, their worlds have changed in unprecedented ways. The cold, grade obsessed girl started caring more about others, and the troublesome and simple-minded boy learned that there is more to this world beyond fighting. Well, sure, he still gets into some kerfuffle every now and then, but at least he has friends now. Things can only look up for this unlikely pair.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.